The old man walks with a slumped back and a sad, dejected look in his eyes. He seems to be searching for something that he hasn't been able to find. You greet the old man.
Good day. Have you seen my Anna? I am Nikolai. Have you seen my Anna? Anna, have you seen my Anna? I am looking for Anna. Have you seen Anna?
You tell the old man goodbye.
If you see Anna, tell her I am looking for her.
The sign reads, Dr. Cranium. You wonder what sort of medicine he practices. It looks like a gigantic stone nose. Who knows what it really means? You don't have any rations. You better get some food soon. You are in a totally weird place. This hallway gives you a strange feeling of Vujadé, the sense that you've never been anywhere like here before, but maybe will someday. This strange device is labeled Transcendental Receiving Animal Processor. I wonder if that stands for something. Be careful, it might be a trap. It's a truly impressive, original, multimedia work created out of whitewash and sawdust. It reminds you of a porthole minus the glass cover. So it's definitely not a glass of port. The sign says, this is the key maze. You don't hear anything behind this door. There is no response to your knock. Behind the door is a sort of rat maze, but it's missing the rat, or whatever is supposed to be traversing the maze. There's a sign on the door. It says, "Warning, do not open without appropriate precautions." The bust's eyes seem to follow you as you walk through the hallway. That looks like a likely place for a spare key. But you don't find anything. You hear something bouncing around behind the door. A lot of somethings. How interesting. It sounded as though someone knocked on the other side of the door as well, several times. Oh no, you've been Antwerped! Fortunately, these are just baby Antwerps, so the attack wasn't fatal.
Still you remain. It is a wonder you have managed to live so long.
The sign simply reads, "In." Guess that means you should go in. You've entered a small but nicely furnished country inn. Stairs lead up to the guest bedrooms. The floor is covered with sawdust and peanut shells. The barrel contains the few shells that manage to land in it. The innkeeper stares at you with an expression of fear and astonishment. It is several seconds before he speaks.
This is the Hotel Mordavia. Rooms here are 15 kopecks for room and board. Pay for 1 week in advance. Your room will be the first room at the top of the stairs. When you want food in the morning or evening, just sit down over there by the door.
Pay the innkeeper for your room and board.
Thank you for your payment.
It's a typical country breakfast. Fried beets and sausage with garlic for a garnish. You pick at your plate in search of any leftover garlic. They stare at you in astonishment.
You say you are a hero. Well, we will judge you here by your actions rather than your words. The Hotel Mordavia has been in my family for generations. It is the only place to be when darkness falls at night. Everything else is closed, and even we lock the doors. You must knock if you wish to come in. My name is Yuri Markarov. My wife's name is Bella. We are the owners of this inn. If you climb the stairs, your room is the first door on the right. The doors of the inn close before nightfall, so make sure you are always back before sunset. Make certain you are back in town before dusk. The gates of the town will close solidly to keep out any dangers. The Burgomeister is the mayor of the town. You will be wise to listen to what he says and stay out of trouble. There is not much for sale at the shop next door, but you may find something you need there. The monastery is to the north of here. It has been abandoned for many, many years, but it has a bad reputation. No one in town will go near it, and if you have any sense, neither will you. There are many ill things that roam this valley by night. Make certain that you never have to meet them. Never venture into the forest by night. Magic is a very dangerous thing. We do not trust those who use or are used by magic. Make certain you do not give us any more cause for alarm.
A warm fire blazes in the hearth. Ornamental plates seem to be the fashionable decoration in country inns from here to Spielberg. The chandeliers lend an aura of faded decadence, not to mention some light, on the Hotel Mordavia. This giant wild boar's head is a trophy of the Burgomeister's last boar hunt. That must have been one impressive boar. Braids of garlic festoon the walls, lending their pungent aroma to the room. Judging from the menu here, the innkeepers are trying to use it all up as quickly as possible. 3 of the townsmen huddle together. They keep looking in your direction as they talk. You suspect that they are saying something not particularly complimentary about you.
I am Hans. Pleasure's all yours. I'm a farmer of pumpkins and corn and a person of great importance here in lovely Mordavia.
Listen, I'm telling you, Igor's death must be avenged. Pleased to meet you. I'm Ivan, an elephant herder. Unfortunately, there are no more elephants in Mordavia, so business has kind of fallen off a tad.
Guys, is it just me or is Mordavia a wonderful place?
Oh, are you kidding? It's the greatest. There's many places to go, things to see. Are you kidding?
Right. Let's not forget that scenic cemetery to the east of town.
Everyone here's nothing but grins. Real friendly.
Yeah, except we don't know you. We don't like strangers.
Or anyone else that's weird and doesn't belong.
Rumors. You talking to me? What rumors?
Oh, there are no rumors here.
Unless you count the rumor that the castle is owned by...
Horse patootie. There are no rumors in Mordavia to speak of. The town of Mordavia is a quiet place.
Filled with friendly, joyful, stinky people.
Well, I'm not so sure about the friendly part. We tend to be very suspicious of strangers like you.
Yeah, well anyway, the town is filled with joyful and stinky people.
Yeah, happy, joyful, and stinky people.
Well, I wouldn't call us particularly joyful. As a matter of fact, most of us are pretty glum.
Oh, very well, all right then. Mordavia is filled with people, you know, stinky ones.
Yeah, many stinky people.
Well, I wouldn't exactly call it many. There actually aren't very many of us around here.
Oh, forget it. Well, at least he stinks. The first door at the top of the stairs leads to your room. My wife will serve you supper in the evening.
Still you remain. It is a wonder you have managed to live so long.
This general store is cheery and well lit, thanks to the warm hearth. The first things that you notice are the cats. They seem to be everywhere. Then you see the shopkeeper, sitting on her rocking chair as she knits. She's a very, sturdy-looking woman.
So, you're the stranger in town. I've heard all about you already. Yeah, polite, aren't you? And manners are as manners do, as my husband used to say. We'll see. You can call me Olga. Mrs. Stovich is too formal after all. We don't welcome strangers here. They bring nothing but trouble. All the same, it's good to see a new face again. Let me see, what could you use? Well, besides my regular items like brooms and pens, I really don't have anything else for adventurers like yourself. Now, I do have some lovely sandwiches you can use for rations. And garlic, of course you'll need garlic. I've also got some oil you can use to keep the weapons and armor from rusting. And if you like sweets, I've got some yummy homemade candy. Although the garlic-flavored ones have all been purchased by now. I'll have to make some more. Oh, and a shopping bag to carry things in. I have a couple of those left. 3 twists of candy will cost you just 5 kopecks. The kids love him. Oh, now garlic is a must-have item. It's just 25 kopecks for a bulb, and it will add flavor to any food.
Storekeeper looks around nervously for a moment, then continues.
You know, some say garlic also has medicinal and protective properties. My husband always said I make the most interesting sandwiches. They're very good for you, and I only charge 50 kopecks each for them. The shopping bag costs 50 kopecks. It is very useful for carrying your purchases or other large things. A flask of household oil will cost you 100 kopecks. It's good for door squeaks and can also be used to loosen up rusty wagon wheels. I can sell you a very nice large pie pan for 250 kopecks. I've always admired the men who can cook. You can purchase the hen broom for 350 kopecks. I'm sure you'll really clean up with it. What would you like to know about? Yeah, Bella's a good woman. She's the one who really runs the inn. Her husband just gives orders. Someday she'll give Yuri a piece of her mind, and good for her. The things she puts up with. Bella, she was a pretty woman not long ago. Was not called Bella for nothing. Losing her only child really aged her. What a tragedy. The castle north of town was abandoned for many years. Then some strangers moved in 4 years ago. No one knows what goes on there now. But it won't be for the good, I'll tell you. Werewolves are gypsies, no question about it. They change into wolves at night, eating anyone they can get. Nothing can kill a werewolf but silver or magic. So you be careful out in the woods at night, you hear me? The gypsy camp is not at all that far from here. That is a bad place, and you'd better have nothing to do with it. It is dangerous and should have been torn down long ago. Many a stranger never came back after asking questions about it, so don't let your curiosity be the death of you. Yeah, my husband and myself had run this shop for many, many years. My husband passed on now, but I keep it just the way he liked it. A well-run shop is a busy shop, he always used to say. Not very busy anymore, what with the swamp. But I try to keep it going the best I can. Mostly housewares, but a few items that might interest you.
The cosy cat conveys a calmness most common in comfortable confine. The window looks out on the street and provides some extra sunlight in which the cats can bask. The fire helps keep the shop and the cats warm on these cold autumn evenings. The large ewers are just right for carrying water. An oil-burning lantern lasts longer than a simple torch, unless the torch happens to be magical. The shopkeeper does a good business in clocks, Apparently the villagers like to be able to tell when night is approaching. Either garlic is one of the most popular products here, or the shopkeeper ordered way too much and hasn't been able to get rid of it. Careful, the cats may explode if you touch them. They're perfectly content where they are.
You be careful. We don't need you going around stirring up trouble after all. Got enough as it is. If you do find something interesting, you let me know, of course, won't you? Goodbye. Or, as my dear departed Boris used to say, may the winds blow fair at your back.
You bait the trap with avocado from your sandwich. Avocado was never high on your list of favorite foods anyway. The trap starts working. Oh no, you've been Antwerped! Fortunately, these are just baby Antwerps, so the attack wasn't fatal. You've caught an Antwerp. It's simply amazing. This is the Antwerp maze. Antwerps are naturally bouncy, so all you have to do is continually rotate the maze until the baby Antwerp bounces over to the key, then out through the exit. Congratulations. You've used the baby Antwerp to get Dr. Cranium's laboratory key from the maze. You add the key to your keyring. The sign on the door says, Dr. Cranium's private laboratory. Entrance by prior appointment or demonstration of superior intelligence only. You hear mysterious bubbling and sizzling noises. Every once in a while you think you hear someone muttering to himself. You faintly hear a voice saying, "Don't knock! Come on in!" from beyond the door. Great! You've managed to find Dr. Cranium's keyhole and open the door. You pass through into Dr. Cranium's private laboratory.
Quickly, Igor, the fluid! I must have the fluid! Oh, excuse me. I thought it was Igor coming in to assist me. He helps out in the lab sometimes. Now then, what can I do for you?
You say hello to the scientist.
Welcome to my laboratory. You must have more than the usual intelligence and perseverance to have made it in here.
You introduce yourself to Dr. Cranium and tell him a little about your adventures.
I should be most interested to hear about your travels and your scientific discoveries along the way. Unfortunately, I have very little time for that right now. Perhaps we can discuss your adventures when you next return. My name is Dr. Cranium. I am Moldavia's chief scientist and a certified genius. Some call me mad, but I much prefer Dr. Cranium. Ah, yes, science. I'm glad you asked. Science is the process of systematically increasing our knowledge of the world through observation and experiment. Unfortunately, some of the townspeople here seem to have no concept of the wonders of science. Some of them even claim my little inventions are magical. Such poppycock! There's no such thing as magic. Still, the townspeople insisted that I should be able to use my magic to cure wounds and sickness. I told them that I am a scientist, not a doctor, but they wouldn't listen. I had little choice but to concoct some simple elixirs. They were childishly pleased. Science is really so simple once you understand it. If you want to improve your stamina, then you should make sure you eat a healthy diet from all the different food groups and get plenty of aerobic exercise. That is science. Oh, you must mean my patented healing drink. You may have my last one. Unfortunately, I have forgotten the formula for its main ingredient. If you can help me remember it, I will be able to make some more healing drinks, although the work is very time-consuming. Thank you. With that information, I'm sure I shall be able to create some sensational scientific solutions. Oh, you must mean my new universal poison antidote. You may have this one, but I will need some help with the formula to make more. Also, I am afraid I only have time to make one each day. Thank you. With that information, I'm sure I shall be able to create some sensational scientific solutions.
You ask Dr. Cranium if he can spare an empty flask for specimen collection.
Of course, of course. I am always delighted to assist scientific research of any kind, and I have plenty of flasks. You may have this one. Experiments are the meat and drink of science. First, you must come up with a hypothesis based on your understanding of the scientific elements. Then perform an experiment to test the hypothesis. Afterwards, you have a pizza. Earth is for solidity and stability. Air gives freedom and movement. Fire provides power and energy. Water, fluidity and life. Pizza, of course, is the most important element of all. Pizza represents the essence of well-roundedness and regaining strength. Most importantly, you can have it delivered in under half an hour in most areas. A hypothesis is a scientific guess. One predicts the result of an operation, performs an experiment to test the prediction, then has a pizza to celebrate the result. It is very important to stay flexible, however. Sometimes the experiment may give a different result than predicted by the hypothesis. Since real scientists don't like to make mistakes, we always write the hypothesis in pencil. Pizza is a crucial ingredient in many scientific formulae. There is a nearly infinite variation in its effects, depending on whether one starts with pepperoni, mushrooms, artichokes, or plain cheese. One should always order extra pizza in case the experiment requires additional materials. Besides, science is hungry work. There is, of course, no such thing as magic. There is only science. Still, you would be amazed at how gullible some people are. Just the other day, someone gave me this scroll saying it was a magical spell. Can you believe that? It is purest poppycock. Nothing on here makes any sense whatsoever. Here, you may have this as a reminder that magic is a figment of fevered imagination. Only science is real.
Obviously, Dr. Cranium needs to take a correspondence course from the famous wizard school. As you read the scroll, you find that you have learned the incantations and gestures with which to cast a glide spell. Then the scroll vanishes.
There, you see, it was not even a very good piece of parchment. Fell right apart. Igor is the gravedigger and tombstone carver. Business has been slow lately, perhaps because there are very few people left in town, so Igor sometimes comes in to help me with my work. Igor has had less work of late. The forest is just as dangerous, but there aren't very many people left in town who are stupid enough to go out there at night, you know. I like to think of it as a sort of evolution in action. Igor is carving out quite a niche for himself in the gravestone business. You might say he is well on his way to becoming a rock star. Then again, you might not. The cemetery is outside of town to the east. It has proven a fruitful source of materials for my experiments. There are also some interesting and cryptic puzzles to be solved there. Essential etheric fluid is an important ingredient in my formula for reanimating dead bodies. It contains the essence of the element of water, the most important ingredient in life science. This laboratory is where I perform some of my most important research. Lately, I have been trying to bring life back to a dead body and to brew the perfect cup of tea. Reanimating the dead is just another day's work in the life of a scientist. Even science cannot bring a person back right the way they were, but one can use scientific principles to restore the semblance of life and energy to formerly dead flesh. The one alchemical combination that I have thus far been unable to fully analyze is that of a good cup of tea. I'm sure there must be a way to duplicate the effects of nature, but the results have not been promising so far. Perhaps you would like a cup of spearmint and beefsteak tea? I thought not. This is even harder than rehydration solution and reviving dead tissue. Research is the heart and soul of science. Without constant experimentation to prove or disprove one's hypotheses, the scientist is left trying to solve the world's problems by guesswork. That is hardly the most efficient way to achieve results. I try to maintain a modest selection of useful experimental equipment in my simple laboratory. Unfortunately, it has become very difficult to obtain the most modern scientific accessories since the road out of the valley became closed by the swamp. Ned? Ned? They all call me mad, but what do they know of madness? I am not mad. A bit perturbed about the world situation and how I get so little respect, perhaps, but certainly not mad.
You explain to Dr. Cranium that magic is really a lot like science, and even deals with the same elements.
Oh, nonsense! There's no such thing as magic. There is only science. What you call magic is simply scientific phenomena that have not yet been properly investigated and catalogued.
You say goodbye to Dr. Cranium.
Please be careful not to break the beakers or crack the flasks on your way out. Come back and visit again. Oh, and if you see Igor, please tell him I still need the fluid.